art cards, editions and originals, ACEOs. Small paintings or pieces of art, 2.5 by 3.5 inches, designed to be collectible and sellable and swappable, I guess. And I've been making some of these and delving into the world of ACEOs and trying to sell them. I've failed with some of these ones, and these are currently still on my Folksy store if you're interested. But as part of this whole journey, I thought, well, really, I should buy some myself, and that's what I did. And I spent the grand total on eBay and a little bit on Folksy, which is like the UK Etsy. Spent the grand total of, I believe, £27.18. There's a video on that, and they all arrived, and I showed you in one of my other videos both the buying and receiving of them. And I said, well, I'm going to display them, I think. And so that video is now displaying the ACEOs. So I have them here. I've been sort of like storing them in the envelopes that they've been coming in and just piling them up there. And I think it's time now to display them. And I have a few different artists that I've bought from. And also, I've got this one that I've just done a swap, some ACEO swapping, which is another thing you can do. And this is with a lady who has a channel, Simone Whip, and maybe I can link her channel here. I don't know, I'll see if I can figure that out. Anyway, we did an ACEO swap, and she sent me this really nice little abstract portrait that is, I guess, painted in an abstract fashion, and then she's used, I guess, pen to create a sort of face, sort of looking into the abstract and seeing what you can pull out of it, which is really interesting to me, and the kind of art that I do like, you know, making sense of things that are more abstract and bringing things out of it is really the interesting kind of art that I'm into. This one though is more portrait, and the ones I bought are landscape. So we're going to display the landscape ones, I think, in a frame together. I'm going to figure out what I'll do with the other ones, because I also have this one, which is not really in the style of, say, these looser, more expressionist ones. I like both styles, I like all styles of art. But I want to present similar pieces of art, I think, in the same frame, I guess. And some I might even keep in books and stuff, more like a collector's things. You know, like people who are into Pokemon cards. Pass me by slightly, I'm just a tiny bit too old. But yeah, they keep them in the, sort of like sleeves, and I guess baseball cards and stuff, but I never liked sport either. I did have something like maybe one pack of football cards when I was a kid for the 1990 World Cup, I remember. But never really been my thing, sort of sports and stuff like that. So you could keep them in books, and I think a lot of people do, and that's something I might look into as well in the future, especially if I get more of them. But there is a gaping hole in my bedroom where we have a nice piece of art by my daughter that she did, and in the middle a nice piece of art that my partner, she brought from Sheffield, where we used to live, and that's in there in the middle, and there's a space on the left or the right, depending which way you're standing. So I've got this frame, and without my partner knowing, I am going to put some of these in here and stick it on the bedroom wall. So hopefully she likes it. And so I think we're going to do it pretty simply and just keep the mount that came with it and put them in there and see what it looks like. So I guess the first thing to do is to open it up, isn't it? Which in itself could be a challenge when I have no tools. Oh, luckily it's got a torn edge already. So let's open it up. Oh, looks like a guitar plectrum. Not really sure what you're supposed to do with that. I guess lift up the, I guess you lift up the little metal back holders. Is that the professional term? Back holders? No, whatever these little metal strips are that hold the back of the frame in. And actually, it took me ages to figure out how to get the right size frame. I was going up there measuring it sort of half-arsely, I suppose, and in the end I had to Google it and discovered that you measure frames on the internal of the back here, so that's how you know what size to get, because of measurements I was getting off the other frame that I want to have the symmetry of, you know, a match were just not available on Amazon, which is where I got this from, because, you know, sometimes you just got to do it the easy way, haven't you? And I think one thing to be careful is when these things break off really easy on these cheaper frames, so I need to do that carefully. But yeah, that must be what this is for. Right, so we have the frame. I guess what I should do is pick the pieces of art that I want. I'm just going to lay them out roughly on here, matching style. So this one I'm going to save and might display on its own because I just think it's super special. And the very nice face from Simone I am going to keep and do something else with. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll get around to it. And then we've got artists cards with all their names and addresses on, because they're good at promoting themselves, unlike me. And so we need to see how many we can get in. It'd be nice if we could get 3 in, and then I could do maybe 6 in total. Have I got 6? I think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one goes that way, I believe. Let's just double check. Correct. See, I can spot the orientations of abstract art. Okay, so I don't know though. That looks questionable in terms of its positioning. I think what I need to do is actually get them out of the little plastic sleeves that it came in. I'm living out the eternal battle of trying to find time to do art when you have a million other things to do. And this time of the year when the weather's amazing, the garden comes into play as well. So not exactly being super productive on the art side of things. I think for me, winter is the most productive time of the year for painting. I definitely haven't done as much painting as I want to. I'm just super busy. And the same really with catching up on all the art channels and stuff I want to watch on YouTube. Just super busy and haven't got round to it. But I do try and do a little bit every week. And the good thing about making these videos is it compels me to do it. And I've gone so far down the road of making YouTube videos now that I feel like it'd be a shame to give up at this point. So that's very nice. So I think these are the 6. So let's take the back off and see what we've got. Put this one and this one to one side. So I'm not going to use the plastic thing. Never used one before. Don't see why I need to start now. Use my fingers. Try not to snap them. These have got about 3 open and closes in them before they just break, from past experience. Right, so it comes with that thing, which is no use, and I don't think, and so I need a backing. I need, because otherwise I'm just going to have that. It's not going to look great, I don't think. Luckily, I did have the foresight to buy some card for mounting. I'm not sure it's particularly good mounting card, but I'll get a piece out, see how it looks. It's a nice card. Got to get it out. Ideally, don't want to get the rest out. There we go. Now, annoyingly, it's just slightly longer than the frame, so I'm going to have to just cut it to size. Uno momento. I really feel like I should upgrade this, but I'm trying to spend as little as possible on art stuff this year and just work with what I've got. So, but it's yeah, it's not the most potent of guillotines, as we're finding out now. There we go, brute force. Brute force. So the plastic comes with a little bit of protective film on it, so I'm going to take that off as well. Oh, double-sided protective film. Okay, so I think this is the best setup, and interestingly, the top and the bottom of each one is by the same artist. Interesting how that's kind of worked out like that. So I'm going to measure to make sure everything's in its correct position. So I've just eyeballed it, and then what I'll do is I'll find the closest sort of hole number on the ruler where I can line everything up and get it so that it looks as perfect as I can get it. And then I'm going to use the slightly, what I suspect is poor method of just getting a little bit of low tack tape so that I won't destroy the ACOs, and then just sort of pinning them down, and then I'm hoping the sandwiching pressure of the frame flattens everything and makes it look all right. Okay, I've done it. I've done it to the best of my ability. Is it perfect? Not quite, I don't think. The way that I've sort of mounted it just by using this tape is a bit nonchalant, isn't it? And I do wonder if, like, you can get those little plastic photo holders for when you're making photo albums with those little plastic corners. I wonder if that would look better, but then I kind of didn't want those being visible over the top of the art. I don't know. I'll see what people say. I'll get take a poll and see if people think it looks a bit rough, and then we can always do it again if necessary. But I think that's good for now, and it'll be nice to get the artwork up on the wall. The interesting thing is about making it all perfect. Obviously, every artist has judged the 2.5 by 3.5 very slightly differently, so they're all just slightly different, and I suppose that's part of the art, isn't it? That's fine. But then to my OCD eye, sounds funny, doesn't it? 'Cause it's an initial. To my OCD, to my obsessive and compulsive nature, it's just a little bit off. But I think that'll settle. Sometimes when you spend a lot of time staring at stuff very, very, very closely, and then you don't look at it for a few weeks, and then you come back, you stop noticing those things, don't you? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on the wall. I'm going to use picture hanging strips, mainly because that's what the other ones are on there with, and then it'll look the same. If I use an old-fashioned picture hook, then it tends to lean a little bit and it just won't look quite right. These things are all right, but I have had instances where paintings have fell off the wall, but this is a pretty light one, so I think we'll be okay. If it does fall off the wall, it's going to hit me on the head when I'm in bed, so that'll be exciting. But we're going to do that now and hopefully get it all finished. Okay, so this is the two pictures that are already there. So the one we're having is going over there. This is the one that my daughter did in nursery, which is kind of a nice abstract, actually, better than I can do, I reckon. And then this is the one, a collograph of the Peak District, and that was in Sheffield by Catherine Rhodes. Very nice art. And that one, the more you look at it, the more you see. At first you think it's quite a simple piece of art, and then over the years I've really sort of got my eye in on it, and it's a lot more complex than you realise. So here, this is where we need it. I shall do the appropriate measuring better than that. I think I will get some kind of measuring device out. Okay, so it's on there. I don't know if I like it yet. I shall wait and see what my partner says as well. Annoyingly, the mount on here is a different kind of white. This white's quite a blue, darker sort of white, if that makes sense. But also I think there's more light coming on here, so I need to see what happens when the sun hits this, whether it sort of changes it and whether I'm just looking at basically shadow or whether it is a bit different. So I think it looks all right. It looks nice enough, I think, and I'll let it settle in and see what I think of it. I can always swap it around, put it somewhere else if I want to. But for now, that's my art that I purchased off eBay. So the whole thing really was about £30 because I haven't used all the ACEOs on there, and then I got the frames. What do you think to my framing skills? Please educate me on how I can make this a bit tidier, and also like any ideas on where to get really nice mounts. I guess like the art websites we all know about would have the better quality ones, and then that might help a bit, make it look a bit more special. But for now, it's a decent first foray into mounting my ACEOs. There you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.